Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Irish Organic Association's podcast, Organic Matters. And this week, we're travelling virtually to Donegal and the farm of Andrew McShea. Andrew, you're very welcome. You have a couple of things going on. I know kind of two main ventures. Could you briefly tell everyone what you're up to up there?
Yeah, look, Hannah, thanks very much for giving us the opportunity to come on your podcast. Yeah, look, we went organic in 2015. We came fully organic in 2017, and we're slowly been building the enterprise since. Our farm consists at the moment of organic lamb sold out in meat boxes, and last year then we added vegetables and potatoes to and strawberries to it. And this year, towards the end of the year, we're hoping that, or early next year, to add beef to our project as well. We also process and sell organic seaweed fertiliser as well off the farm.
So busy enough. And I know we hear like a lot of people selling kind of beef boxes nowadays, but it sounds like you were ahead of the curve with the lamb boxes. I mean, how did people take to that, or where did the idea come about?
Well, looking through with lamb going to conventional markets and that, and producing an organic product of such high quality coming off grass and stuff like that, I just felt that we weren't getting enough for our product. And so I decided that, look, there has to be a better route from farm straight to customer. A lot of customers really like it because they know where it's coming from. And I think the personal touch of you delivering it straight to their door and handing it over to them is definitely a big bonus. And the feedback then that we get on the taste of the lamb and the tenderness of the lamb, and that is quite uplifting every time you get told all that. Look, I suppose in everyday life, not everyone likes lamb, so that's why we have to go and add beef to the system to try and make it more viable. And I think to survive in organics, we need a wee bit of everything to keep the thing going. So we're just adding the pieces of the jigsaw together, and slowly it's coming together. It's just taking a wee bit of time, but look, man made plenty of time, so we'll get there.
Well, you seem to be kind of a master of adversity, because I know you had, what originally sparked it all was you had unfortunately had a bad breakdown of TB, but that knocked you out. But do you think that's very important, being an organic farmer, or having that mindset that you have to be versatile and flexible, and like you progressed then to the lamb, and now you're progressing on to the beef? Do you have to continuously be looking at the consumer and what they want and be willing to change?
Oh, definitely. You have to keep changing. You have to keep just in organic farming. Personally, I think you need to make your farm self-sufficient. So we have done that. We grow our own grain to feed our sheep, and then whatever excess grain we have, we sell it off the farm, and that leaves you with your own straw on that. Definitely, you have to keep changing with the way things are going. Look, at the TB was a big wipeout. It's not everyone in farming that has got TB will know the implications of it. Unfortunately, it is a big major setback when you're completely wiped out of it. But look, if you keep sitting down and don't get up and strive on, you're not going anywhere. So you have to keep going, and you have to keep climbing the mountain. And look, we're getting back over the peak again and getting there. So look, it's just keep going.
I know there's some farmers out there, and they're going to be listening, and they're going to want some particulars. So what breed of ewe do you have? What breed of ram do you use? And typically then, how do you finish the lamb, and what do you finish them on?
Well, typically here we have Texel and Suffolk Cross ewes, but all have originated originally out of Mayo Hornies. Now, I have tried a couple of different rams over the years. We would have had Kerry Hills here and that, but we found Kerry Hills were too hard to finish. So we have Texel Cross rams here in New Zealand, Suffolk rams. We changed over that last year. I was keeping an eye on the New Zealand Suffolk. Read a lot of reports on them. Was very happy with the way that they were going. So then 2 years ago we bought New Zealand Suffolk rams, and we're we're very impressed with the results and very impressed with how they finished. But what we do here now coming to cupping season is I do put out extra rams with the ewes. So the rams always go out on the 8th of October and all rams are taken away on the 8th of November. So that compacts my lambing to March. So with putting out extra rams and only leaving that gap, generally out of a flock of 70 ewes, this last 3 years, we've ended up maybe with 4 or 5 empties out of that. But it means that your lambing starts and is compacted to March, which is working quite well for us. Now, last year then we sowed multi-species swords and we put the lambs into that. And I was just amazed how the lambs just took off on it without any meal at all and that. So this year, what we're trying to see, can we put a wee bit more flavour on the meat, is we're actually have lambs gone into kale. And we're finishing the lambs in kale at the moment. So we're going to see how that works out. And if it works quite well, we'll be continuing on with that. So we don't give any meal. It's grass finished as best we can. And the later lambs then, or the lambs is late born, sometimes we just lose them to conventional markets because they just go out of season. They just don't finish in time. So, but most of them, this is going to be an exciting one where we're trying to see what the flavour of the meat's like coming off kale.
And for you as well, has it been a bit of a learning curve in terms of what kg box to sell and how to get it out to customers? And I know sustainability around packaging is very important to you as well. Has that been a bit of a learning curve?
It has. Well, thankfully, it's all done locally. We have a local abattoir here, and he does the killing of and then my butcher, Kev McGovern Meats, they process it all and put it in the packaging, and I provide the labels for them. So when the package comes back from them, it's professionally done. It's ready for action. So look, I suppose we're trying to see, can we get more recyclable products and stuff like that, as in the trays and the products for the wrapping them up. We can get all that biodegradable, but if we wanted to go fully organic on everything, we can get our label biodegradable, but we run into a problem then where we can't get the glue to stick the label on it. It's not organic or it's not biodegradable, so that's where we're stuck there at the moment, where we're trying to see, can we? No one has come up with or no one has found the way of doing it yet. So that's the only stipulation where we wouldn't have 100% recycling packaging. And
can you give us an idea of how much, say, a leg of lamb would sell for, and how do consumers mind paying that much when they feel it's a quality product?
No, look, we kind of just stick to at the moment they're about 10 or 11 euro a kilo. So what I tend to do is try and sell either a full lamb box or a half lamb box. When we started out first, Anna, I tried to accommodate customers as best I can, but I found then that I was ending up with a freezer full of different cuts that people didn't want. So to try and cut out that waste, what we done was we just said, look, it's either half lamb or a full lamb, and then that leaves it that there's no waste then, and there's no product to sell it.
Do you courier it out to customers, or do customers come and collect it?
Generally, I do deliver it in person. Look, the website is only up and running this year. We have people looking for lamb now further away, so that has its own challenges. But look at talking to other people around Ireland that we've got to know and are at it. We've got good ideas on how to do it and send it by courier. So, but I think the personal touch of delivering it is definitely better than sending it by courier.
And do you think there's room for other sheep farmers to set up something, or do people just need to secure a higher price for their lamb?
Definitely. Look, there's always an opening. There's always, I think, over this last 2 or 3 years, I think people are actually realizing, that the route to market maybe is directly off your farm to customers. I think there's a brilliant sense of pride in if you grow your vegetables or rear your lamb and then you produce into this product to hand it over to someone, and there's no one in between, and you're getting the top quality price and you're producing a top quality product. I think, but the challenges that's there at the moment, in relation to all the prices going up, and look, we're getting told about food security and stuff like that. So why you can't get better food security than coming straight from a local farm to your door?
Yeah, and relying solely on grass-fed that's been grown
Yeah.
there. So yeah, that's brilliant. And the other thing, talking about locally produced products, seaweed. So you have it on the doorstep. So what gave you the idea to start seaweed fertilizer?
Well, a brother of mine, Terence, he's a head greenkeeper on Madoran Golf Course, and he has been using it since 1985.
Wow.
And he was kind of ahead of the game that time by using it, and he has built up an immunity as to the diseases on the golf course, where he's using little or no chemicals whatsoever on the golf courses, on his golf course. And he started to educate me towards the seaweed and the benefits of it. So we started to use it on the farm, and anywhere we used it, we noticed that that time the cattle or the sheep were coming in that used to just graze the whole fields down like a carpet. And then we started doing soil sampling, and every year we noticed that the soil fertility and the soil indexes were moving in the right direction. So we had a farm walk there recently on the farm, and I had soil samples taken from 2016 right up until date. And from 2016 on, our soil indexes kept moving, and we're now at soil index 4 for both P's and K's. Our pH is sitting at 6.5 steady, with no lime applied in the last 8 to 9 years. So we're growing all our grass here on the farm with using seaweed and slurry and aerating. So and then when you dig the soil stock, we dug a hole for the people who are there, and our soil structure is really good. We have no compaction layers at all. And what we are noticing is that with the seaweed, there's a natural enzyme in it which promotes tillering. And anyone that has used it on the meadow ground, the first thing to say is we've noticed less and less weeds in our meadow ground, where the grass is tillering earlier and cutting out the light of the weeds and that. So look, it is exciting. We're improving the products as best we can as we're going along. We do provide products for both organic and conventional farming, and look, we're getting really, really positive results back from the tillage guys at the moment on bushel weights in the grain from using it. And yeah, look, it's good. It's a massive alternative to the price of chemical fertilizer,
which is always a plus. I'm wondering how it arrives. So if I ordered it, does it arrive and I put it out in a muck spreader, or like how does it come? What form does it come in? How do I get it out to the fields?
It comes in liquid form, and we have it green down to 5 micron, where it doesn't. It can go out in your normal tractor boom sprayer or quad sprayer. So it comes in from 1 litre right up to 1,000 litre cubes. The 1 litres is more focused on the gardening end of things, with people with their gardens and that, and then from that up higher to farming. So generally, I get it sent out by fast-way couriers. So if you order, it'll go out by fast-way couriers. And it's 2 litres per acre and 100 to 150 litres of water in your boom sprayer. So then the trick is little enough, and it's going to take a while to build it up. It has taken me about 6 or 7 years to do it here, but my soil structure here now and my indexes are all at 4s, which was never here when I had chemical fertilizer at all.
And when do you spread it? Do you spread it, say, do you go in the spring like you would with the chemical fertilizer, or how do you?
Yeah, you just do it the same as your ordinary rotation on your farm. You just use it that way. I had a conventional dairy farmer use it in a 19-day rotation on his farm down in Ballymahan. He was very, very impressed with how it performed for him. And he said that it was performing the same as a bag of 18612 for him. And he was in a 19-day rotation, and he said it was perfect for his rotation. And he actually noticed a big difference in his bulk tank as well from where he was grazing it. So because the cattle were grazing the grass down cleaner, and he had no topping to do afterwards either. So yeah, look, it's exciting, and we're trying to change products to suit people as well. So yeah, it's going good, thank God.
No, it sounds good. I guess there's changes on the horizon in terms of the next cap. and maybe even in terms of all the funding that seems to be being directed towards the organic scheme. For you, are there any kind of positives or negatives that you see coming down the pipeline?
There is still challenges there where we think that when we're farming organically, and then you have the environmental schemes, due to a European rule where double funding isn't allowed, we feel that we're kind of closed out of the even though we get priority into the environmental schemes, we feel that we're closed out because we can't draw down funding on some measures because we'd have to forego our organic payment. But I suppose, look, at that double funding is set in stone by Europe. So what we need to do now is sit down and add some more linear measures to the likes of acre schemes. So anyone in organic farming can draw down as good a fund as they can from the organics or the environmental scheme. There's always going to be challenges going forward. Look, we spent 4 days out in Germany there recently with on a trade mission with the Department of Agriculture, Board BIA, and ourselves. We were out.
Was that a BioFac? Did you go?
Yeah, I went to BioFac, and look, it was just amazing to go out there and see such a massive show kind of in under one roof. Like there was halls there as big as Crow Park, and it was all to do with food and stuff like that.
And it's all organic food. That's essentially it.
It's the largest organic show in Europe, if not the world. And look, there was a lot of work done there for those couple of days we were over. We met a lot of the department met a lot of their own departments in Germany, and look, they're willing to take nearly anything up to 25% of what we produce organically extra into their market. They've no problem taking it. We were out on a farm as well, a dairy farmer who was milking 120 dairy cows, and he was using a dual purpose breed, which would be quite similar to the Simmental breed here.
The Flexi, it's quite famous over in Austria and Germany, yeah.
And he was just commenting that he was quite shocked that the Irish dairy farmer aren't using a dual purpose breed as well, where he's getting up to €500 for his bull calves when they're born because they're a beef breed, and he can sell them, and he has something to sell in his cow. So look, it was an eye opener. Definitely, the increase in organics here. Definitely, look at there's a market there for it. We just need to try and challenge the products into the proper markets and get going. And Board B, look at even though we've criticised them over the years, and that look at they're starting to move with the organics now, and they're starting to the market is there. So I suppose the challenge for us farmers now is to provide the products over a 12-month continuous period. Look, we're pulling together our project team at the minute as well here in Donegal to try and bring the hill lamb into the market, where the lowland lamb, when it'll be finishing up this time of the year, we bring the hill lamb on in to finish it out, to bring it to Germany. So we're going for brought all the governing bodies together, plus Chagas and some private planners, IFA, and some local farmers, and we're going to sit down on the 18th of August and try and get a plan in place to see can we do a pilot scheme to bring this into fruition, because there's a lot of organic stock being lost to the conventional market because due to market constraints or due to accessibility to factories and stuff. So look, it's a work in progress. There's definitely challenges ahead, but I think the future is very, very bright for organics in Ireland at the moment, you know.
And final question: any advice for anyone thinking of getting into organics, maybe specifically even organic lamb?
What I will say is that if you're thinking of going into organic farming or into any other project that you think that might help your farm along the way or make your farm more viable, stop listening to pub talk. Stop listening to myths. Stop listening to people telling you stuff they don't know anything about. If you're going to go into tillage, go talk to a tillage farmer. If you're going to go into potatoes, talk to someone that's growing potatoes. If you're going to go into organics, go and talk to an organic farmer that's in organics. Stop listening to pub talk. Stop listening to scaremongering, and stop listening to myths about all that's going on. If it's not specific, Hannah, to organic farming, if you're going in to do some sort of farming that you think is going to be viable for your farm, talk to someone that's doing it.
No.
Don't talk to someone that thinks they know what they're doing. That's the only advice I can give on it, to be honest.
Well, that's very good advice, Andrew. Thank you very much. And anyone interested in the lamb or seaweed or anything like that, there is a website, Tully House Organic Farm.ie. But that's it from everyone here. You've been listening to the Organic Matters podcast, brought to you by the Irish Organic Association. And for more information on organics, not only can you visit some organic farmers, you can go to the organic website as well, the Irish Organic Association.ie. Andrew, thank you very much.